Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Sabbath class, and it's the 1st of January 2022. We're going to pick back up, like I said this morning, about the assessing the end times to try to get a good assessment of what's expected to come for the people that's the listeners. And we started out with some. I had some different scenarios. I didn't get to finish them, so I had some people wanting me to finish that. So I'm gonna finish that first, and then we go into that. So it says, asking everybody to like, share, subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel. Hit the notification button if you can. This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. So with that being said, we're going to do our moment of silence and a Sabbath prayer, and then we'll go into the lesson. Okay. So, okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore, we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face, looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servant David, Solomon, Samuel, and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For you possess the power. Turn us, O Lord. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear the plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, we're going to pick this lesson up from, like I said, assessing the end time, and getting a better perspective on what's going on with it. So what I had started this morning with was, I started out with Second Ezra chapter 11. I had on there a man. Let me read that, because it's like about 5 scenarios. And like I said, you got to be able to get the meat out of all of them to write about it. So it says, let me get Second Ezra. Probably be on here about an hour, the lesson. Go and how the conversation go. So, here we go. I'm in Second Ezra, chapter 12. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days that in the night I dreamed a dream. Okay, Shalom. It says, it came to pass after 7 days that in the night I dreamed a dream, and behold, a wind arose from the sea, so that it stirred up all the waves. And I looked, and behold, the wind brought out of the heart of the sea something like the figure of a man. And this man flew with the clouds of heaven, and wherever he turned his face, he looked, everything was seen by him trembled. And wherever the voice went from his mouth, all who heard his voice melted as wax melted when it fills the fire. And after that I looked, and behold, an innumerable multitude of men was gathered together from the 4 winds of heaven to make war upon the man who had come up out of the sea. And I looked, and behold, he carved a great mountain and flew upon it. But I sought to see the region or the place from which The mountain had been called and could not. And after that I looked, and behold, all who gathered together against him to fight with him were much afraid. They're afraid. So the people in Ezekiel 38, they ain't afraid. So it says that all who gathered together against him to fight with him were much afraid, but dared to fight. And behold, when he saw the onset of the multitude that approached, he did not raise his hand or hold a sword, any weapon of war, but I saw how he sent out his mouth, what looked like the flood of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and from his tongue he sent forth storms of sparks. These were all mixed together, the flood of fire, the flaming breath, the mighty storm, and they fell upon the onset of the multitude was ready to fight, and burned them all up, so that suddenly there was nothing to be seen of the countless multitude, but the dust of their ashes, and the smell of their smoke. And when I saw it, I was amazed. Afterwards, I saw this man. Started again. Afterwards, I saw this man come down from the mountain, call to him another multitude that was peaceable. It's the 10 tribes. Then said the people, many people came to him, some joyful, some sorrowful, some in feathers, and some bringing offerings. Then in the excess of my fear, I awoke and besought the Most High and said, you have sworn, okay, says, you have shown your slave these wonders from the beginning and have thought me worthy to have my prayers heard by you. Now show me further the meaning of this dream. For as I think of it in my mind, Atlas, those who will be left in those days, and Atlas are much more for those who are not left. For those who are not left will be sad, since they know what is reserved for the last days, but cannot obtain to them. So we're going to go down to 21. Saying, I will tell you the meaning of the vision, and I will reveal to you things of which you speak. As for what you say about those who are left and the meaning. Okay. It says, and the meaning. He who occasions danger at that time will guard those who are exposed to danger, who have works and in faith the Almighty. So you must understand that those who are left are more blessed than those who died. This is the meaning of the vision. For you're seeing a man come up out of the sea. He is the one whom the Most High has kept a long time, through whom he will redeem his creation, and he will organize those who are left. And as for your seeing the wind and the fire, the storm issue from his mouth, as for his not holding the sword or the weapon of war, but destroying the onset of the multitude that came to subdue him, this is the meaning. Behold, the days are coming when the Most High is going to deliver those who are on the earth, and amazement will come upon those who live on the earth, and they will plan to make war upon one another, city upon city, place upon place, people upon people, kingdom upon kingdom. And it will come about when this happens, right? It will come about when this happens. And it will come about when this happens, that the sign will occur, which I showed you before. My son. See that? My son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up. And it will come about when all the nations hear his voice, that every man will leave his country and his wars. Read that again. Every man will leave his country and his wars that they have with one another, and the countless multitude, such as you saw, will be gathered together, wishing to come to subdue him. Here we go. But he will stand on top of Mount Zion, and Zion will come and be revealed to all men and made ready and built. Like the mountain that you saw carved out with our hands, my son will charge the heathen in Mount Zion. You're going to charge the heathen who have come with their ungodliness. This was a symbol of the storm and will upbraid them to their faces with their evil thoughts and their tortures, which they are to be tortured, which are symbolized by the flame, and he will destroy them without effort by the law, which is symbolized by the fire. And as for you seeing him gather himself another multitude, yeah, two different multitudes. You got Southern Kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi that was scattered on the whole world, and you got the 10 tribes. And as for you seeing him gather himself together another multitude peaceable, the 10 tribes. These are the 10 tribes that in the days of Hosea were carried away from their own land into captivity, whom Shimei, king of Assyria, made captive and carried beyond the river. They were carried off to another country, but they formed this plan among themselves. We know about that. But we see who the players are. You got Judah, which got to be saved first, and which is what he's doing with the fire and the flames. Then he come down off of the mountain, call the 10 tribes to him. That's what the book say. So then, anyway, so I read that because you go over here and you go to the New Testament, and that's just what Second Ezra just said. He said he was his son. We over here in Prophet Reagan able to rightly divide that now because we know it's David. Everybody else don't know that. So I'm in Revelations. And it says, okay. It says, these are end times events in the book of Revelations. I'm just going to go through a few of them right quick. And this is where the problem coming in at. So none of this ain't have nothing to do with nothing. So in Revelation chapter 7, is open up this conversation in a minute. So it says, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the standing on the 4 corners of. I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any on the trees. And so you go to verse 9. It says what I just read in Second Ezra. It's a multitude, a numberless multitude that's coming, and all this right here. 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, palms and out. Yeah, it's hogwash. We see some of that same stuff in Second Ezra. He says, and after this, behold, lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and all kindreds and all people and tongues, stood by the throne before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice. All this they got this from our forefathers, out of Daniel and out of our books. They the hoodwink. And so now I'm gonna go to chapter 11, show you the symbolism, how these people operate. And I'm in chapter 11, verse 15. Here go the trumpet. And the 7th angel sounded it, and there was a great voice in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of the world are the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. See that? And he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which were before the God on their seats fell down on their faces and worshiped God. So we know over there the trumpet is sounded. It's in Mount Zion, same place where David gonna show up at on Mount Zion, what Second Ezra just said. But now you got here the 7th angel sounding, the trumpet being sounded, but it's in heaven. This is where they're getting it from, and it's called a JC. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. I'm just putting some stuff out there. Now I'm in chapter 12. Okay, and it says, in 66 Isaiah, the woman is uh, the earth, Zion. He's gonna bring forth a man child before she a nation is born at once. He's gonna bring forth a man child first. So we're gonna go here to Revelation chapter 12, and let's look at it. I'm in the right place here. I gotta go back here. So after gate, chapter 12, verse 1, there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. It's in heaven. But over in Isaiah 66, the proper timeline, the woman is Zion, and it's on the earth. And she bring forth a man child, and the man child is David. Okay? So then you got a dragon. Chapter verse 3. There appeared another one in heaven. All this in heaven, ain't on the earth. And there appeared another one in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head. That's straight out of Daniel. And we in Second Ezra, it's an eagle. And now he go to man child. 5. And I saw before, and she brought forth a man child, this woman. She brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up under God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God that she should feed there for 1,203 score years. All the same characters. And they got enough nerves to even verse 7. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found for him any more in heaven. And the great red dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil, Satan, which is deceives the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and the angels were cast out with him. So they got all the same players. This a straight up garbage scenario right here. It's an end time scenario. A lot of people getting caught up with it. But this ain't none of this got nothing to do with nothing. None of it. Okay? So let's go. Any comments so far? Okay. Let me get this. Like I said, they're saying it's an innumerable multitude that, you know what I'm saying? And we know that multitude is pertaining to Israelites, and it pertaining to the end times, and it pertaining to over in our homeland and in the continent of Africa, in that area. That's where the number multitude is at, going to end up here. So it says, just the thing I was going to mention too right here was, I kind of mentioned it this morning, was Hosea chapter 5. So Hosea chapter 5 says, and 6 says, they shall go with their flocks, with their herds, to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treachery against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children, and now shall the moth devour them with their perished portion. So they left land of Israel when the Antioch Epiphanes came, trying to find the Lord. They had all their possessions with them. And like I said, they ended up on the west coast of Africa all that time. The whole time that the Roman Empire and the Constantine was doing their thing over there on the other side, they was on the west coast of Africa doing their thing and had all their stuff with them. And then he brought the Gentiles and the kings, the king of Portugal, king of Spain, all these Dutch king, all these kings came and and surveyed the Israelites and all that, and then spoiled them, took all their stuff. And the only way they found out about them, like I said, the whole world knew nothing about them. Esau, his brother, the one enlightened the Gentiles. They knew nothing about Israelite culture. They didn't know how to even approach an Israelite or nothing to do with that. Esau the one informed them. So Esau is the culprit that the Most High got to get rid of at the end of the world. He used the Gentile to do his dirty work. He hid behind the Gentile. But he's that nation that the Most High got to destroy. And where they at? They in Mount Zion. And the only way to bring back righteousness is to destroy the culprit that shed the blood in the land of Israel. Their blood got to be shedded in Israel. That's why all the events is happening over in Israel. You got to destroy them on the mountains of Israel, like he said. And then from there, he brings in the Israelites after the blood is redeemed that they shed in Israel. That's why he's saying. That's why Second Ezra was saying David is on Mount Zion, and that's why he's bringing them to the valley of, bringing all nations over there to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's the scenario. So anyway, he says, okay, I read that. Right. So yeah, the question was brought up about that he set his hand the second time. And if you look at that in Ezekiel 66. That's okay. Like I say, somebody have a comment, and you know, it's all good. But yeah, so it's Isaiah 66. Let me get Isaiah 66 says, say, in verse 15, Isaiah 66. This is the same chapter where it says in verse 5, hear ye the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word, your brethren that hated you, cast you out for my name's sake, and say, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. Then 6, a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that rendered recompense to his enemies. Then 7 is David. Before she travailed, go to woman right here, Jane in heaven. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pains came, she was delivered of a man child. It's David right there. So now we're gonna pick up, get you located where I'm at. So now he brought him forth. 15. Behold, the Lord will come with fire. See that? So when they say fire, that takes you directly to Malachi, the day of the Lord. He's coming with fire, the day of the Lord. There's no other day like that day. He's coming with fire. He says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, with his chariots like a whirlwind. They go to whirlwind to render his anger with fury and rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire, Malachi 4:1, by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. And they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, abomination of the mouse, shall be consumed together with the Lord, saith the Lord. So we know now how they're going to be consumed, because he told you what David should put out his mouth. Right? So, for I know their works and their thoughts, and it shall come that I will gather all nations together, and they shall come and see my glory, right? And I will set my sign among them, and I will send those that escaped of them unto the nations. He go to when he said David came down off of the mountain, and And he went and got another multitude, the 10 tribes. This is where they at. All this in Africa. I will set a sign among them, and I will send them that escaped of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pud, Lud, to draw the sword, Tubal, Javan, the isles for all. They have not heard of my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles, and they shall bring all my brethren, it's the 10 tribes, for an offering unto the Lord out of all the nations upon the horses and chariots and litters, and upon the mules and upon the swift beasts, and upon my holy mountain. See that? Holy mountain. It's over there. Jerusalem, says the Lord. As the children of Israel bring offerings and clean vessels into the house of the Lord. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. When he said the second time, you got two different groups of people dealing with. He has to say you got to say the children of Judah and Benjamin and Levi first. That's what he do when he comes up and pleads with them, and he tell them that at the Valley of Jehoshaphat, then he they try to come up against him. He wipe them out. When he wipe them out, then he come down and he go and use some of those priests and Levites, and they go and get the peaceable multitude, which is the 10 tribes. And I ain't say it. That's what it said in the book, Second Ezra, the 10 tribes. Right. So, like I was saying, I had a couple of conversations, and they was wanting me to finish what I had started out with. So I was just trying to finish what they say, because they wanted to get a better understanding. So I wanted to connect them dots to them. Any comments on anything about some of that? Somebody got to take on it. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Also, like another thing to shine a light on too is, like I said, when you dealing with these people, you know, and understand what they're capable of doing, they went back to all our books after they concocted JC, and over the years when the Israelites start waking up, they go back and they still editing and flipping these books and flipping these different things in here about the book. So in Second Ezra chapter 15:49, let me read that. It's plagues in there. Let me read it. It ain't just plagues in the apocalypse of Abraham. Here you go right here. So I'm in Second Ezra. Here you go. Second 15. Let's see what that said. 15:49. Okay. It says, and I will send misfortune upon you, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, and lay waste your houses and bring them to destruction and death, and the glory of your strength will dry up like a flower when the heat that is directed upon you rises, and you will grow weak like a poor creature upon the beaten with stripes and wounds, so that you cannot receive your heroes and your lovers. But anyway, who he's talking to is in 46, and he says, "You, O Asia, China, Asia, the Asians, or you Asia, partner of the beauty of Babylon and the glory of her person, Atlas for you, poor wretched, because you have become like her." Saying that the Gentiles, meaning these Chinese, acting just like the Gentiles. You have ornamented your daughters in immorality to please and glorify in your lovers who have always desired you. You have imitated that hateful adulteress in all her deeds and devices. As Esau America, Esau, the Caucasian. We're talking to them, Caucasian and Asian. But the thing about it is, it say plagues right here, 10 plagues. It's kind of strange to me because there were 10 pigs in Egypt. Yeah. So anyway, so another time. Let me see what. So yeah, like I said before, I'm gonna read this and then I'm, anybody got something to say or whatever. But it says that in second half of 13, I'm gonna read that again. 13 and 5 through 9. Yeah, it says to make war upon a man who had come up out of the sea, this David. And I looked, and behold, he called himself a great mountain, flew upon it, but I sought to see the region. He saw his finest right here. And I sought to see the region or the place from which the mountain was called. We know in Daniel chapter 2, he said a stone was going to come. It's in Mount Zion. They don't want you to know it's in Mount Zion. So he says, a mountain that I could not. He says a mountain had been carved, and I could not. He wanted to find out where it was at, but you know where it's at. And after that, I looked, and behold, all who gathered themselves against him to fight with him were afraid of him, but did not fight. So my point is this: if this when he came here over here to get us from over here, they are afraid of him. So why would they come in Ezekiel 38 and say, let's go up to the unwalled villages? They scared of him. Read that again. It says, and behold, all who have gathered them together against him to fight with him were much afraid, but did dare to fight. And behold, when he saw the onset of the multitude that approached, he did not raise his hand or sword or any weapon of war, but he saw only how he sent out of his mouth what would look like a flood of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and from his tongue he sent forth sparks of storms of sparks. They were mixed together, the flood and the fire, the flaming breath, the mighty storm, and it fell upon the onset of the multitude which was ready to fight and burned them all up. That's why they're afraid of them. So this don't sound like the people. This don't sound like they ain't seen that. The people that's in Ezekiel 38, they ain't seen nothing like that yet. But they're gonna see this at the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Because if they had seen this over here when he came and delivered us, they wouldn't have came up against us over there on the West Coast. That was my point. Okay. Yeah, anybody got any comments or something they want to talk about, bring up? That was for, YouTube listeners that were listening. Okay. Anybody got anything?
So, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Are we, when we leave, are we leaving like they left in Egypt as far as a great multitude? I mean, is it only going to be the Israelites, or have is are other like people that are who come to the realization of who we are?
Yeah. All that's happening right now. But what the thing about it is, when I was showing you how when we got a better understanding of what they done to us when we on what we watched last night. And so that comes right into play what he said. He's gonna cause the Gentiles, them same kings of the earth. He said they're gonna bring our sons and daughters on their shoulders, on their backs, in boats and bring us back here. And they're gonna place us back where they got it from, where they spoiled us at. He's gonna cause them, those kings, and we see all the money they got. They got all the money. He's gonna cause them.
Okay.
He's gonna cause them to bring us back there. And then when they bring us back there, then he go to work. He said they're gonna bring your sons and your daughters uh, you know, on horses and camels, any way they can get them there, back to where they got them from. And then that's when, like I said, then from there he goes to work, and that goes right into play with they the carpenters. They the ones that So to look at the big picture, is when you say Ashkenazi Jew, right? The Ashkenazi Jew, that's a Gentile. That's one of the sons of Japhet. Ashkenazi is a son of Japhet. So it's a European Jew. So he all twisted up with Esau and with Japhet. So it's two groups of people you got to deal with. He deal with the Gentile, and he already done hook winked Esau. He already sitting over in the land like a white perch. He already sitting there. He just got to be judged. So he deal with the Gentile over here. Then the Gentile bring his people over there where he want them at. When he get them over there, he got to kill the Israelites, all of them, on the mountains of Israel. That's what he got to do with it. Let's read that. Obadiah. He says, verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. There shall be holiness in the house of Jacob. He go all the players right here. The house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau. This who we got to deal with. This the nation right here in the end times that he got to deal with. See, Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, devour them, and they shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And here you go. We're gonna see where they at. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plains of the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites. All this over there, all these lands right here, possess they Canaanites until Zapharth, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Saraphat, shall possess the cities of the south, and saviors, this is saints, shall come up on Mount Zion. That's what David is, to judge the mount of Esau. See that? They're coming up on Mount Zion, but Esau there. See that? To judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. David doing it, just like he did in the past, but it's over there.
So Esau is who in today's time? I know you say Japhet is the Gentiles. Esau is who?
Esau is the adversary. He the one that got a perpetual hatred for the Israelites. He the one behind the transatlantic slave trade. He the one behind the Christianity. He the one by denigrating our culture and all that. He the one behind it. But he hid, and he used the Gentiles and bring them out as if they the ones behind it doing it. But the Gentile has been hooked winked off into this too through Esau, and that's why he got to judge them for the. Look at this. Let me go back up to Obadiah in 13 and 14. Obadiah verses 13 and 14. Thou should not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should thou have stood in the crosshairs to cut off, to kill. This is where they shed the blood of the remnant. Neither should thou have stood in the crosshairs to kill off all those that did escape, and neither should thou have delivered them up in those that did remain in the distress. That's when Antioch Epiphanes was there. So that nothing ain't gonna be right. Righteousness can't be brought in until they get judged for that, and it got to be in the same place where they committed it at, in Zion. And like I said, that's how ignorant they are. They already over there now, posted up, sitting ducks. Any comment? Anybody got any comments? Somebody want to add to? Yeah, so that's the whole story. The whole story is Jacob and Esau. That's what the whole story is. It come when you rightly divide it and come down, and so you want to find out where the Most High is, uh, whoever it is he got that's gonna do the damage for him. You got to find out where Esau is. You find out where Esau is. You find out where it's gonna go down at, and that's what he's talking about. Some old evils, like the one I just read right here in Obadiah, what they did to the Israelites. It's a time when it's a time of their end, and not only that, they did it when they left Babylon. They're the ones encouraged the Chaldeans to burn it down, and they came in and helped and supported Nebuchadnezzar. And then when they came back, they the ones sent the letters to Darius to stop Nehemiah from building the temple. And then they ran up Greece and came back with an army from Greece. They've been doing the most forever. This is the nation you trying to deal with. What these Americans did is skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? He in behind these Edomites. That's what he in behind. That's who got all the money. That's who got all the Israel stuff. These Edomites. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I had to clear it up for some people who I had a conversation with. They was want to know where I was, the direction I was going in with that when I started. So anybody got anything you want to talk about? We got about 15, 20 minutes. You got a question or whatever? We'll be back on here tomorrow. Like I said, I try to do 45, 30 minutes, 45 minutes every Sunday at noon. And, it ain't going to hurt nothing.
Is that on the line? Is that on the private line or is that on here?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, y'all want to record it or do y'all want to just have an open dialogue and that's it? If you want to record it with some where you can hear it or go back and look at it or write it and divide it, then we can do it on this line right here or we can do it on one of I got the other line, non-Messianic conversations, or you can do it on the conference call line.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I was just wondering where you normally did it at.
Yeah.
But I know we were going to meet one time. I think I missed it with the other guy that was asking the questions.
Yeah. We was
Once,
that was on conference call line.
yeah.
But I was saying, so many people call me want to know where they can hear it at. That's why I said I was going to ask. We'll try to figure out a way to be able to be recorded. But like I said, tomorrow we can go on the conference line and then everybody think about it and what they think we should do. Should we record it or whatever? Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay. No comments, nothing? Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Man say recorded right here. Oh yeah, we do that then, bro. All right. Yeah, we just come on tomorrow we come on this line. And then I'm gonna set up the non-Messianic net channel and start doing it on there because I already got a bunch of non-Messianic stuff on there. So I just do it tomorrow on this line right here, Prophets of Awakening. And I sent out a link tomorrow, and then or tonight I set it up and link for tomorrow for 12. Then we can talk. Like I said, we just see how long it goes. It might go an hour, may go 30 minutes. Just see how it goes. So everybody good?
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let me get this right here. Shalom. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 12. Anybody that want to come in, chime in. These conversations are good. As far as I'm concerned. Shalom.
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 Shalom.